Today, we're going to take a closer look at Nvidia. The stock is down again on the day. And this week, I want to say is going to be a very big week for Nvidia. We do have a lot of earnings that we discussed in another episode. So in today's episode, what I want to do what I want to do is the following. First, I want to take a closer look at recent earnings to expect tomorrow. I think tomorrow is going to be a very interesting day, especially after the market closes. Second, I want to take a closer look at some bearish news for Nvidia. And third, I want to take a closer look at recent keynotes and kind of this fire chat that the CEO of Nvidia had with Mark Zuckerberg, which I thought was pretty great. So let's talk about all that in today's episode, and let's get started.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for their subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
So we can see Nvidia right now sitting at $111.59. After hours, the stock is also down, and we can see the stock price is sitting at $110. I'm going to say, and I might be wrong, but whatever happens this week is where the stock is going to be here until earnings. So let's take a closer look at what I mean. So this week we have a lot of big earnings, and I did an episode yesterday or 2 days ago about these earnings. But quick overview: Microsoft, Meta, Amazon are all reporting earnings this week, and these are all big customers of Nvidia. If we see a nice bullish trend here for Nvidia, I think from here on out, this could be the bottom. Unfortunately, if we get some bearish sentiments, this might be where we might be until earnings. So I do believe these 3 companies are going to really dictate how the stock moves in the short term of things. In the long term of things, I just want to say I am very bullish for the company. But one thing that we are hearing is analysts really kind of pounding down with these companies that are investing a lot in AI chips. And one, they're worried if these companies are over investing. I've shared my thoughts in the past. And a lot of, in the short term, investors and kind of analysts are wondering, hey, companies are spending so much money in AI chips, but there's no real AI revenue coming out of there. So what's the point of investing in AI chips? I want to say those thought processes are pretty off. I want to say if any big tech player slows down in AI chip spending, they're going to start to lose market share from the other players. So right now, it is a necessity. I'm going to say that it is a necessity for them to invest in AI chips. The other thing is we have seen a few earnings from companies like ServiceNow that I mentioned a few episodes ago that are actually benefiting already from AI revenue. But right now, that is the current market sentiment and might be something that could be impacting the stock price in a negative way. But Microsoft, Meta, Amazon this week and tomorrow, just specifically tomorrow, we have AMD, which obviously is a competitor of Nvidia and can really give us an insight of what to expect for at least the AI market, which we already know is still in high demand, right? I don't think for me, we already had plenty of earnings from Micron, SK Hynix, from TSMC, that the AI market demand is still high. But I guess people still want confirmation from popular companies like AMD. And then obviously from Microsoft, we're going to hear more about CapEx growth or CapEx decline or just CapEx settlement. So that's going to be very important tomorrow. And obviously I will be doing a video on those tomorrow after the market closes. Now, I mentioned today we're going to look at some bearish news for Nvidia. The first is this report that Amazon is unveiling the latest AI chip and performance is up by 50%. So just like any big tech player, all big tech players are creating their own AI chips, which are ASIC solution. And every time we hear these types of news, everybody goes out there and says, Jose, look, this is going to be the end of Nvidia. I mean, we've seen Google create their TPUs during their 6th generation, and they still purchase tons and tons of Nvidia's H100. Now, I want to say, if you believe these big tech players are going to catch up with Nvidia anytime soon, then I don't think you should be owning Nvidia, as that's going to create a lot of negative sentiment because all these companies are going to continue to invest in their own chip solution. If you are a believer that, hey, look, these companies are going to create these ASIC solutions, and you understand that ASIC chips are not programmable, and that's why GPUs and Nvidia's chips continue to dominate, then I think you're okay hearing news like this. And it's just going to be like let's just think about it. If these chips, and from this report, it says that at some cases the performance of these chips can be 40 to 50% higher compared to Nvidia's, and their cost is supposed to be about half of the same models of Nvidia's chips. So if it is if this is true, right? If this is true, why isn't Amazon? Why is Amazon still ordering the Grace Blackwell? Why is Amazon still ordering all these Nvidia chips if they know they can produce some amazing AI chips? The reason being is GPUs are programmable. They're used for various different tasks, not only one certain solutions. And these AI chips that all these big tech players make are usually only good for one workload, where all these clouding giants and even AI workloads need more than one solution. So again, not worried about this, but just wanted to bring it up. And I'm not saying that this is always going to be the case. At least for the next, I want to say at least 3 to 5 years, NVIDIA is not going to lose any real customer due to some form of ASIC solution, in my opinion. Obviously, I can be wrong. We also had another bearish sentiment that OpenAI is in talks with chip makers to help make their own AI chips. And those chip makers are, one of them is Broadcom. Obviously, Broadcom is a huge player in helping big tech create ASIC solutions. Again, that ASIC solution is just what Amazon has, what Meta has, what all these has. I mean, Meta develops their own AI chips, and they are one of the biggest customers of Nvidia. Like I mentioned, Google does the same with their TPUs. Microsoft has their own. But I do believe this could obviously benefit companies in the future. And that's why I am excited for, I'm not too excited for Broadcom. I definitely know that Broadcom is definitely a big player here um, in the custom compute AI market. So a lot of investors are excited here. One I personally enjoy right now is Marvell, and I think Marvell can definitely benefit from this solution, but not necessarily mean it's bearish for Nvidia. Now, those are the two kind of bearish talks that I wanted to discuss. Let me know your comments below. Are you worried about any of these ASIC solutions overpowering NVIDIA GPUs? And again, I want to say the other bearish thoughts for NVIDIA is just the sentiment that I discussed earlier, where analysts are worrying about overinvesting. Other analysts are worrying of there's no real showcase of AI revenue. I think many investors, unfortunately, right now, like I mentioned, many investors are not understanding that AI revenue is actually also within a lot of these other products like Meta, right? A lot of their AI revenue is not really AI revenue, but thanks to AI solutions, they're able to see a growth in advertisement. I'm pretty sure Google is the same. So while there's not going to be an individual note out there that says AI revenue, I think investors might be expecting that, especially analysts. And I think that's the wrong way of thinking about this. A lot of this revenue growth that companies are seeing in things like their advertisement side, in forms of generative solution and co-pilots and AI assistants and chatbots, is not necessarily going to showcase as an independent AI revenue segment, but it's overall helping boost some of these companies' core revenue. And I think that's the better way to kind of think of AI revenue. But to the next topic here. Today we did have two great CEOs at a keynote in SIGGRAPH. SIGGRAPH is this huge kind of conference for the graphics market, and it's been going on for multiple years. I believe over 40 years, if I'm guessing correctly, maybe a little bit longer than that. But we had Mark Zuckerberg and Nvidia do this kind of Q&A session, and the session is about an hour long. I would recommend, if you have time, go watch that. It explains a lot of where these two CEOs see where the future of AI is going. And I want to say, I'm a big bull of Meta. You guys know me. I've been talking about Meta for a while, how it's such an AI company. But hearing Mark Zuckerberg talk in that interview really makes me even more makes me believe more of how Mark Zuckerberg is really a genius here in the AI space, and he definitely has the potential of being one of the top and most revolutionary CEOs of the future. Again, that could be controversial, but just my thoughts of how he discusses and his visionary of the future. Obviously, we heard from Jensen Huang in this keynote as well, and him just hearing and kind of praising. Obviously, that praise could be just because Meta invests a lot of money in AI chips, but in general, having two minds that are really in the forefront of the AI speaking in the same space at the same time definitely helps you understand that we're still in early innings of AI. So I want to say the big thing to get out of that for me was one, Zuckerberg is a genius. The second thing, in my opinion, is we're still in early innings of this AI space, and AI is gonna go in so many different directions. For example, Zuckerberg really wants to believe that the next iPhone, the next phone, or the next transformation in technology is going to be real world glasses and AI glasses, and how Jensen Huang believes that one of the biggest next technologies that can use AI is going to be things like simulate, like robotics, and other things around that simulation and real world material. So again, these are right now we just have kind of chat box and text box with AI. But these two players who really see the AI and who are in the forefront are just like, yo, we are still in the early innings. If you think chatbots are pretty cool, wait till you see where we get from here. And I think that's very bullish for the overall semiconductor market. And it helps us kind of continue to invest in companies like this. Another thing that we heard from Nvidia is they did announce a new NIM, which is their microservices. For these microservices, you need to be using Nvidia's solutions. It's AI hardware and software solutions, which means great money for Nvidia. They talk a little bit more about the robotics market and how they provide a lot of things for robotic simulation. So we see how Nvidia is very bullish in the robotics market. NVIDIA mentions that they have three computing platforms to help ease humanoid robotic development. The first is obviously their AI supercomputer, which helps train models. The second is their kind of software solution like Isaac Sim to help where robots can learn and refine their skills in simulated worlds. And finally, they have what they call their Thor supercomputer, which is based on their Jetson. And these are kind of the processors that would go inside the robots themselves. They mentioned that some early users of this new NIM are Boston Dynamics, 1X, ByteDance, Field AI, Figure, Fourier, and a lot of these other robotics companies right now. So obviously, NVIDIA continues to expand its AI solutions into other industries, and that's going to be a nice tailwind, right? Right now, it's just cloud server providers, but then it's going to be cloud server providers, the automotive, the healthcare market, the robotics market, the advertisement market, the space market, the gaming market, and the list goes on and on. So that's what NVIDIA does really well. They help markets get into this space so then they can sell more hardware, they can sell more software licensing, and they can overall continue to develop in this space and become the ultimate ecosystem for all these developers. Another one is Coca-Cola, right? They're using NVIDIA's NIMS microservices to help with their brand solutions. And this one was actually pretty cool. I want to talk about it. So we know Coca-Cola, right? Coca-Cola is a nationwide, a global-wide product. And one thing that Coca-Cola really likes to do is showcase their sodas with some great food. But to help kind of localize the type of advertisement, let's say maybe you are in a Central American area or a Mexican area and you want to showcase your ad and you don't want to keep continuing to create different commercials. Because of generative AI solutions, you can keep changing maybe the cuisine, the food in that ad to help be more relevant to your local area. So I think that's a great move and just a smart way to see how advertisement is using generative AI solutions already. And Coca-Cola is a customer of NVIDIA's NIM service solution. So we can see big players already. So let me know your thoughts on the overall video. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time.